This podcast is an RPPFM production.
The following episode contains some coarse language and descriptions of graphic violence. Listener discretion is advised.
And welcome back.
Sorry, I'm yawning.
Oh, what a great start. You're listening.
I think my fridge is haunted.
Shall we start again?
Yeah.
You're listening to
I think my fridge is haunted. Ooh. The Christmas edition.
The late night edition.
Yes.
With
If
requests.
If you're feeling a little bit saucy,
We'll play you some Elton John.
yeah, we'll play you some Swedish fiddle singing.
Yes.
Speaking about Swedish fiddle singing, I watched Midsummer.
Oh my God.
Holy
How was it?
shit. I
Okay.
am obsessed.
Okay, so people out
Obsessed.
there don't know what Midsummer is. This is not the Midsummer Murders, the 90s
No.
drama show about the small town, smaller than Kringa town, that everyone dies. Like every week someone dies.
I mean, this has it's kind of along those lines.
So
it's a small...
It's a horror film.
It is
set
incredible.
in the not Netherlands.
It's Swedish,
Swedish. And was it by the
Same guy that did
producers-
Hereditary.
Hereditary. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about messing with your mind.
It is so gorgeous and amazing. I am so obsessed with this movie now. Like,
Okay.
oh my God, completely recommend. Just so mind-blowing. I'm obsessed with it.
And I know one of the actors from The Good Place is in it.
Yeah.
And I love that show.
Yeah. What's his name?
Flippin'. Hang on. I have to go.
Wait, Chris is frantically writing something down.
Cheaty.
Oh my God,
Do
you
you
watched
watch
the
the show? Oh my God. She just gets better and better.
Because she knows everything. Yeah, Cheaty's in it. It is incredible. I'm so obsessed with it. It's culty. It's spooky. It's set completely in daylight, which it's hard to think of a horror movie where everything happens in the day.
Yeah.
Because it's the
It's usually because
Swedish...
they have no budget.
Yeah, no, but this one is set with it's the midsummer. It's when all the nights are just day.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so everything happens
because
bright daylight because they don't really have nights.
It's always daylight during that time. Wow.
But holy shit, I'm just completely recommend. It is so insane. I
haven't seen it yet. I want to see it, but I actually watched a YouTube video with like all these spoilers, so I know exactly what happens.
Okay.
And it reminded me a little bit what I saw of it. It reminded me of this great Netflix produced film called The Ritual. Have you ever seen that?
Oh no, but the last podcast guys rave about it.
I've watched it twice.
Yep.
And I'll watch it again. Oh,
Okay.
Esther, it's so good.
Damn, okay.
It's the imagery. It's
yes,
like...
well, this is like Midsummer.
I love
stunning.
anything that has kind of like forests and stag horns and like mutant animals and rituals and
this
capes
is
and
literally
hoods, all that stuff, and fires and wicker men and I love all that stuff.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, Midsummer is literally like, it's so beautiful. Everyone's dressed in white. There's like these
flower crowns.
Yeah, flower crowns and like the most vibrant flowers. Blue skies. Everyone's smiling. Like and plus,
so it
majority of the
you.
time, the Americans are on drugs.
Right.
So if you look at the background, it's constantly kind of swirling, like you are on like mushrooms or something.
Huh.
So it's just the whole movie is trippy. The whole movie is trippy, but it has some moments where it's so intense and so like I just get these crazy goosebumps. Cool. And like my sister was warning me because she went up to she stayed in an Airbnb along the Great Ocean Road, and she called me in like this weird panic, being like, I'm staying at a town that's an actual cult. Oh, and I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, it's like all the village people in this town all know each other. They're all ex-priests, or they're all priests that have been asked to leave the church.
Are
So
they
I'm
all
guessing
priests?
pedophiles.
All priests that are
Like-
singing YMCA.
If so, I'd friggin' love it. I'd be
because
down
you
there.
said village people, so
Bitch.
obviously my mind went straight to the gay disco.
No.
Hang on. So,
Okay.
are we actually talking about perhaps it actually was a pedophile colony?
Well, I think it's all those priests that get asked to, move along, and because they've been molesting kids.
Jeez, that happens. I mean,
100%. Yeah.
I thought the
Catholic Church
thought the church just kind of
took care. Yeah, they moved them to a different
I thought they
area.
just kind of looked the other way and went,
Yeah, they
"Oh, that
do.
doesn't happen."
They do. But instead of being like, I'm going to take legal action, they just kind of be like, all right, we're going to shift you to another church, to another town. But all these priests are all done in their career and they all moved to this town. And it's like this
Wow.
weird old ass town. Belle was staying in this beautiful little cottage and she calls me and she's like, don't watch Midsummer alone. I'm flipping out because we're in a town full of cult people and this movie's about cults and it's crazy and they're going to come and get me. But I watched it twice. I'm going to watch it over and over. It is stunning. Mm-hmm. Watch it. Get onto it.
I will. I will.
The girl, I've got the biggest crush on her. The main chick.
The blonde.
Oh, she's
girl.
just so beautiful.
Right.
She's incredible.
I don't know her name.
No, I mean, it's Florence something.
She reminds me a little of Brie Larson.
She's an absolute babe. She's one of the most amazing actresses I've seen in ages.
Cool. Well, you sold it on me. I'm going to watch it.
Go home tonight, watch it. I'm going to go and watch It Chapter 2 because it's out on DVD.
I still haven't seen Chapter 2.
Oh my God, it's
which
so
is crazy.
Good.
I just haven't been to the movies a lot this year, but I love the first one, like the first remake version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. I'll lend it to you.
I feel like we've got so much housekeeping this week.
We do.
If you're listening to this is our Christmas episode.
Yeah, ho, ho, hos.
Ho, ho, hos.
Hos everywhere.
And, we want to put this out on Christmas Day. We normally put it out on a Thursday. We're putting it out on a Wednesday this week because we want all of our spooky friends to be able to,
have a break, have a breather from the bullshit.
All the Christmas stuff. And
celebrating the life of Jesus Christ.
And, all the Christmas crackers and the music and the bells and all that kind of stuff.
And the screaming, the internal screaming.
And the guilt. So, just after dinner, go out, sit in your car, take a glass of wine with you,
or
don't
something
drive.
Else. Something
or something
a bit stronger.
Smoky. And listen to us. We will keep you company.
Yep. We'll tell you some
and
spooky?
You can even drunk message us if you want.
Oh,
we
honeys.
are here for you.
Majority of you have us on social media. Send us a message because I will be at work scrubbing toilets that day.
You're working on Christmas Day, aren't you?
People like to go to hotels on Christmas.
Yeah, I guess so. And wouldn't it be funny if you had someone going to that hotel on Christmas because they want to get away from everyone and they actually listen to our podcast and then you're like, housekeeping.
And they're like, holy shit.
And she's like, that voice sounds familiar.
Open the door and it's just an exhausted me just covered in sweat with latex gloves. We're like, do you want your toilet scrubbed, sir?
Towels.
Nightmare. All right, housekeeping.
So, more housekeeping. What have we... so last week we talked obviously about Cyclone Tracy.
Yes.
In our episode Stacey's and Tracy's.
Stacey's and Tracy's. The incels.
Yes.
I completely blanked.
You ruined my week. I went to Woolworths afterwards and I was like, oh my God, is that person a Stacey? Or a Becky? Or an incel?
Yes.
I swear to God, I saw 5 incels last week.
Yeah. 5. You start to notice them everywhere.
I did.
Man.
I went out.
It ruins everything.
We went out for Indian food the night after, and there was these 2 guys, and they were kind of, I don't know, they were just weird. They sat at this table for 2, looking at each other, facing each other, eating, and I swear to God, they didn't say one word. And I was like, what
are they plotting
is going on?
Yeah.
And it was a buffet, so they just kept on going up and getting more food. And I was like...
Maybe they're mute and blind and deaf.
I don't know. They just looked like incels, and because I'm now obsessed with incels.
Right.
Everybody looks like an incel.
Totally. I actually was sitting on the toilet one night, and I decided to try to find a real life incel on Instagram, and I found him, and I sent his profile to you, and he is horrendous.
Oh, you did.
He even the tame quote unquote tame incels are terrifying.
They freak me out.
They make every pore in my body just shrink up.
Esther, you don't have any pores. We've discussed this.
I know. Well, it makes other things shrink up.
So last week I was musing on whether there was a some sort of a memorial to the victims of Cyclone Tracy, and apparently yes, there is a plaque in the Darwin Civic Centre, which was put there in 1977, and it was actually unveiled by Her Majesty the Queen.
Wow.
And it acknowledged those who died within the cyclone, and also the people that were lost at sea, and it names them each by name. Because that's one thing that we didn't think about, people that were washed out to sea and never seen again. And
I think that would be scarier than being on land, in my opinion. I mean, I'm so terrified of water, so that doesn't help.
It's kind of like a tsunami, isn't it?
It would just be so scary. Oh my God, I'd rather be on land 100% than be stuck out in sea. That is a nightmare.
It's awful.
Nightmare, yeah.
We should probably have done this in an ice cube, but did you hear about this volcano?
Oh yeah, my best friend lives in New Zealand and did not tell me it happened.
It's terrible.
It's her. So apparently there's footage of a man looking directly into the hull of the volcano and it explodes.
What?
Because apparently you don't know if a volcano is about to explode. It just erupts.
I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, because I thought that was a bit... I'm like, surely you'd hear rumbles
because they can predict the tectonic plates, what they're doing. And they keep close, measures on volcanoes, and they've got computers.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. And I was like, surely you can hear stuff about to happen. And my dad's like, no, they just explode.
They just explode.
I'm like, oh, well, okay, I guess we don't have volcanoes, so I have no idea.
As we discussed last week, we have no volcanoes.
We have none. We have horrendous prime ministers, though. Wah, wah, wah. Somebody him now. I once said that about Trump online, and I got absolutely chased for it.
I'm gonna edit that out, what you just said, or at least beep it out.
Okay.
But yeah, just tragedies, just so much tragic stuff going
horrendous. On. It's just the worst.
Do you? I feel like there was another housekeeping thing that I had. Hang on. Oh yes.
Oh, big eyes. What?
So there's a new show on Netflix. Have you seen it? The Confession Killer.
No.
Do you remember a couple of weeks ago we were talking about Richard Chase?
Yeah.
And how his mum was a moron.
Yeah.
And we were comparing him to Henry Lee Lucas.
Yes.
So there's a new show on Netflix called The Confession Killer, and it's about Henry Lee Lucas.
Oh, okay.
It is nuts.
Yeah, Henry Lee Lucas is a massive dick.
Yeah. But there is so much to this story. I had no idea. It's related to all this police corruption.
Oh,
it's
God.
Nuts.
Okay, sick.
I recommend it.
All right, cool.
I was like, what? I didn't know this happened.
Ugh,
I thought it was just he's a serial killer. He got the death penalty. End of story. No.
There's always
There's
deep
so much
dive.
more.
Always.
And yeah, I'm only up to episode 3. I don't actually know how many episodes there are in this series, but I'm looking forward to watching the rest.
Well, yeah. Hell yeah, I'll get onto it.
I feel like so much stuff has happened this week.
So much stuff has happened this week.
Do you have a fact from the freezer?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead.
Nintendo was founded back when Jack the Ripper was still on the loose. Brackets 1889.
What?
Isn't that crazy?
Okay, hang on. Was it like ball in a cup?
Oh, see,
like with the string attached to the cup.
No, it was actually. I've got more of my fact. I just wanted to sink it in.
There was no technology then.
No, they had the Japanese company originally made playing cards called Hanafuda. But the name of their company was Nintendo.
It was Nintendo.
Totally. Yeah. And it was happening all while Jack the Ripper was prowling the streets. Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. So they've always been a games company, but
they've always
not
been
necessarily like a technological games company.
No, but they've like stuck to it. They've been like, let's start with playing cards and let's move on like through the ages to the technology that Nintendo has now. I thought that was so really sick.
That's amazing.
I almost crashed my car when Jackson told me that. I was like, what? They had joy in 1889?
Yeah.
Okay, your go.
Okay, so I actually swiped this from the podcast Bloody Murder.
Ooh, shout out.
Shout out. I think they're also from Melbourne, actually.
Ooh, competition.
No.
No, they're great. We love them.
No, they're good. They're good. They mostly just do true crime, whereas we do like other stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
And they posted this on their Instagram. So, Esther, you'll be interested to know that lobsters pee out of their faces. They have.
That's cute.
Isn't it?
I think that's so cute. But when you said that, I pictured a lobster with a human face. For some reason.
Was it our Prime Minister?
Yes. Would you call him
Not
human?
political.
I hate him. Continue your fact.
They have urine release nozzles right under their eyes. They urinate in each other's faces as a way of communicating either when fighting or mating.
Damn, what if you got the two of them mixed up?
Two of what?
Fighting or mating. What if one starts pissing in your face and you're like, honey, come on, and then it turns out to be a fight?
I think either the fighting or the mating comes first, then the peeing is like it comes after. Okay. It's like right. I love that. Them fighting words, pee.
I love having
them
little
sexy words, pee.
Little tear ducts in your eyes. That's for urine. That's great. So do they have genitals?
Oh, I didn't read that far.
Like
I presume so.
Then why doesn't do all genitals make wee? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like... yeah, but their sexual organs might be somewhere else, whereas like their urethra might be in their face.
Okay. See, I never learnt sex ed.
We need a vet.
So I don't... Well, I was a vet nurse, but I never handled crayfish, so...
You were too busy sucking up dog blood.
Okay. Did we even mention that on the podcast, or is that an inside conversation?
Yeah, I put it in the blooper, actually, so people might not actually know that we do bloopers after
guys,
the ending
hold on
music.
to the whole episode because we will... There's some funny stuff.
Yeah, the episode that we did with Sky.
It's the vampire one.
Yes.
Yeah.
With Sky Medusa. You told us a really funny story about when you were a vet nurse. Yes. And I put that after the ending music.
Great. Awesome. Hire me. I'm available. Both performance and vet nursing. All right.
What have you got? We haven't discussed yet who's going first.
Ho, ho, ho. Christmas theme. Okay, I'll go first, I reckon, because mine's pretty depressing.
All right.
Ghosts are fun. Like, even if the ghost is hardcore and scary, ghosts are always guaranteed fun.
Yeah, he's definitely a troublemaker.
Murder isn't fun.
All right, let's do it. Let's do
it, guys. We've got a beautiful Christmas tale for you today.
Good.
On the 25th of December, 1996, picture a beautiful snow-filled land in America, preferably Boulder, Colorado.
Mm-hmm. Picturesque.
The chimneys are blowing and the lights are a-glowing. Rhyme. I'm making this up. Anyway, an American child beauty queen, age 6, known as JonBenet Ramsey, was found dead in her family home.
Wow.
Yep.
We're going there.
Now, guys, I'm doing this specifically for I have this beautiful wig, okay, that I got from Magic Glamour. Shout out. He's a Sydney-based stylist. And it's blonde and it's very pageanty. Mm-hmm. And I call it my JonBenet Ramsey wig.
Of course.
And
one of the greatest beauty queens that ever lived.
Completely. But my friend Manny got covered it in fake blood.
What?
Yeah, because he wore it for an act at Red Light Confidential where...
That's unforgivable.
Unforgivable. My wig is ruined.
It can be reversed.
I can't afford it at the moment.
I'll do it for you.
It's been covered in blood for months.
Okay, I've got 2 words for you. Charcoal shampoo.
I don't know hair. I don't know anything.
I know hair.
I love you. Anyway, now it's like I can still use the JonBenet Ramsey title for the wig because, well, think about it.
Well, yeah, true.
Okay, guys, let me continue. JonBenet was born in 1990 by her 2 parents, Patricia and John Ramsey, and had an older brother called Burke. Remember that name. John Ramsey was a wealthy businessman who was president of Access Graphics, an IT company, and Patsy Ramsey dedicated her time to entering her daughter into heaps of child beauty pageants. JonBenet was quite successful in these pageants, taking home titles such as America's Royale Miss, Little Miss Colorado, Colorado State All-Star Kids Cover Girl, and National Tiny Miss Beauty.
Aww.
Yeah, look, I hate child pageants, but the titles are pretty cute. Patsy was a recognized pageant mum who previously was a beauty queen. She held the title of Miss West Virginia in 1977. So you can tell she was like a mum who was pushing her dreams onto her 6-year-old kid.
Yes.
Yeah. On the morning of December 26, 1996, Patsy discovered a 3-page ransom note demanding $118,000 for the safe return of JonBenet. She called 911, and if you've heard the 911 call, it's pretty weird. And a lot of people are pretty sus about it. Guys, it's all over the internet. Listen to the call.
Oh, you can get it.
It's
so
bizarre.
many places.
Yeah, and people have literally pulled it apart from every sound in the back, everything. It is like one of the most famous 911 calls ever. It's nuts.
911 emergency. Police. What's going on? 515th Street. What's going on there, ma'am?
We have a kidnapping. Hurry, please.
Explain to me what's going on, okay?
There's a note left and our daughter's gone.
A note was left and your daughter is gone? How old is your daughter?
6 years old. She's gone. 6 years old.
How long ago was it?
I don't know. I just found the note. And my daughter's
Does it say who took her?
What?
Does it say who took her?
I don't know. There's a ransom note here.
It's a ransom note?
It says SBTC. Victory. Please.
Okay, what's your name? Are you
Kathy Ramsey. I'm the mother. Oh my God. Please.
I'm sending an officer over, okay?
Please.
Do you know how long she's been gone?
No, I don't. Please, we just got out. Is she right here? Oh my God, please.
Okay, well,
There's somebody.
I am, honey.
Please.
Take a deep breath,
Please,
okay?
hurry.
Patsy.
She basically starts by saying, "We have a kidnapping." A lot of people say that sounds too rehearsed, almost like what a cop would say. When she first speaks on the 911, she says, "We need an am," and then she pauses and says police, suggesting she knows that JonBenet is already hurt.
Hang on. Oh my God.
See, it like...
I didn't know about that part.
Yeah, she's
of
like,
the call.
"We need an police." She completely changes it. So if your
because
kid's
later,
kidnapped...
Well,
they
don't, quotation marks, don't know where she is.
Exactly. They think she's out of the house.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
911 emergency.
Police.
The 911 call continues with Patsy begging the operator to send help as soon as possible. She's praying to Jesus and then she hangs up the phone. But what she doesn't do is hang up the phone properly. So the 911 operator can still hear noises in the background. It is believed that in the background, you can hear Burke saying, "Mummy, mummy," and Patsy saying, "What have you done?" over and over again. So they've like blown up the sound. There's a documentary on Netflix. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's...
There's a couple.
There's a heap on JonBenet Ramsey. There's one really weird one called casting JonBenet.
I like that one. That one's really good. It's very interesting.
It's a really cool way of doing a documentary.
It's unique.
But there's one, it could be the killing of JonBenet or something, but it is literally like the most thorough documentary you'll ever see about JonBenet. That's where I learned everything.
I mean, they combed this out.
Everything. Like it is insane. I've never seen an investigation so pulled apart like they did with this one on that TV show.
And I think that's got something to do with the fact that you and I both have very specific views on what happened. Yeah. My theory is pretty immovable.
Yeah, so is mine. And what confirmed it is this documentary. 100%. But we'll get to that in a bit. There's also hardly any background noise during the actual call. No family members crying, no yelling. It is...
No panic.
There's no panic.
So weird.
Yeah. If you woke up to find your kid gone, like the house is quiet except for Burke saying, "Mom," you know... It's weird. It's spooky. It is the most bizarre, like rehearsed. I'll get to a thing in a minute, but just to keep in mind, John and Patsy were obsessed with American movies.
What do you mean?
Like John had movie posters all around the house and stuff. He was quite influenced by like movies and quoting movies and like really like typical movie lines and stuff.
Like
Hollywood crap.
Like pop culture movies.
Yeah, so like a lot of when we get to the ransom note, a lot of the lines are they are some of them are direct quotes from movies that he's liked.
Oh, what?
Yeah. They've found that they're like they've linked the quotes and they're like that movie is from literally a movie that's in his DVD collection or video collection at that point. Okay, so this ransom note, let's get to the ransom note. It's 3 pages long, so I'm only going to talk about the weird parts. You can easily look it up. It goes on and on. It's really worded quite strange. Like it's very bizarre.
Everything about it.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Weird.
Yeah. It starts out as, "Mr. Ramsey, listen carefully. We are a group of individuals that represent a small foreign faction. We respect your business, but not the country that it serves." So already that's like a weird, why would you...
Sounds a bit kind of like the Patty Hearst
it's bizarre. Like why would you put that, "We respect your business, but we don't respect America"?
They're trying to make it look like it's
terrorists.
Obviously.
Yeah. The note goes on to say they have JonBenet and she will be returned if the family withdraws $118,000 and leaves it in a disclosed location. They continue, quote, "Speaking to anyone about your situation, such as police, FBI, etc., will result in your daughter being beheaded. Don't try to grow a brain, John. You are not the only fat cat around, so don't think that killing will be difficult. Don't underestimate us, John. Use that good southern common sense of yours. It is up to you now, John. Victory, SBTC."
SBTC.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it goes from them kind of implying that they're terrorists and they hate America, so they've taken this president of an IT company's kid. Then it moves on to if you read the note in full, it's really bizarre. Like they're like, put the money in a medium-sized bag. Like who cares? Just get the money out. They say, have a good night's rest because this is exhausting. And then it goes from speech like, "We're from a small foreign faction," to "You're not the only big cat around," which I think is very Americanized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
The whole ransom note is completely all over the place.
Right.
It's bizarre. Let's do a little more deconstructing, Jesus Christ. To start a ransom note with, "We are a group of individuals that represent a small foreign faction." First, why specify that you're a group of individuals? Everyone knows that a group is made up of individuals. Like that note, that little like added detail is just stupid. Like why would you add that in a ransom note? Putting the word "small" doesn't make sense. A kidnapper would want to sound intimidating and powerful over the Ramseys.
That's true.
Yeah. Using the word "foreign" commonly be used in ransom notes, like because they've had people that they specialize in ransom notes pick apart this, and these are the notes I'm reading. Like they pulled apart everything.
And to them, the Ramsey family would be foreign, not them.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Why would they come to Boulder and take this kid of a guy in an IT company? Like, he was very rich, don't get me wrong, but like he had just been given a Christmas bonus, and in his savings or the money he had, $118,000 wasn't a lot for him, so he could have just gotten that out. Like, why would they ask specifically for that amount?
Yeah. I don't know if this is correct, but wasn't 118,000?
I'm pretty sure that was his bonus.
That was like the exact amount of his bonus.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like the exact bonus. Yeah. Also, the use of the word beheading is weird because Americans, it just sounds too much like they're trying to make it sound like terrorists. Mm-hmm. You are not the only fat cat around. Use that good Southern common sense of yours is very Americanized. And that brings us back to John and Patsy being obsessed with movies. Mm-hmm. Then the Victory SBTC line is probably the weirdest part. There's theories that it stands for Saved by the Cross. The note was also written on a notepad and used with a pen that all belonged to the Ramseys.
So this terrorist kidnapper sat down in the middle of the night
in the house
and wrote 3 pages.
And sat down, wrote 3 pages with the notepad and pencil or pen that was in the house. They also picked up that the handwriting was very similar to Patsy's. Like,
I don't buy any of this at all.
It's just ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, this whole situation. Yeah. So who would come in to kidnap a kid and sit down and relax and take time to write 3 pages? Why not come in with a pre-written note?
Yeah.
Get in, get out. Yeah. Yeah. So that to me is like one of the biggest giveaways in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit strange. So after Patsy called 911, 3 minutes later, 2 police officers rocked up to the house and conducted a search but didn't find any signs of forced entry. Meanwhile, John was making arrangements to pay the ransom.
You'd think a house like that would have pretty good security as well.
And it's a big modern house.
Yeah. Even in 1996, you'd probably think that they would have pretty top of the range security, locks on the gate.
Oh, he was a millionaire. So
maybe even CCTV.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's bizarre. I mean, saying that, the police found nothing. So that's, what does that tell you? A forensic team was sent over and they only cautioned off John Bonet's bedroom, leaving potential evidence in the rest of the house to be botched. Oh my God. Yeah, so this is when the point in the investigation where everyone screws up and it's literally infuriating. Patsy invited her friends over, who actually
as you do.
Yeah, as well as the minister. Scene. She brought the minister over. And
what minister? Like a priest?
They were religious. And the friends completely cleaned the kitchen.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they wiped everything down. They cleaned everything, completely in my opinion.
It's a comedy of errors.
It's just horrendously botched. And removing heaps of potential evidence, which is just great, At this stage, multiple randoms had just walked through the entire crime scene.
What do you mean randoms?
Like the minister, all of Patsy's mates. You've got 2 police officers. You've got forensics team. They've only sectioned off the bedroom as a crime scene, which is bizarre to me. It's like they're going to find her DNA. You're going to find potentially the person that took her's DNA.
Yep.
But same with like the notepad and this section off the whole house.
I know.
Why are people coming in and visiting and cleaning?
Just this massive case of cross-contamination.
It's horrendous. Anyway, at 1 p.m, a detective asked John to research the house to see if they had missed anything suspicious.
Research?
Research.
Yeah. Right.
They started in the basement. John opened the door and found John Bonet's dead body. Her mouth was duct taped, a nylon cord was tied around her neck and wrists, and her torso was covered by a blanket. Now, instead of calling out to the police and forensics that were literally in the other room, John picked up the body, contaminating the scene, and carried it upstairs.
Such an idiot.
It's so
This
so
whole case
frustrating.
makes me so frustrated.
Yeah. Now, the autopsy found John Bonet had died from a skull fracture. Keep that in mind, everyone, and strangulation. There was no evidence of rape, no semen was found, but they did find evidence of a vaginal injury. They also found that it appeared her vagina had been cleaned with a cloth around the time of her death.
That's weird.
It's weird. And they still don't really understand why that happened.
All right.
There's rumors that the parents set it up to look like she had been molested.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So someone was covering their tracks.
Yes.
Okay.
The nylon cord was attached to a broken handle of a paintbrush and had been used to strangle her. Kind of like if you guys are familiar with how John Wayne Gacy used to get a cord and a pencil and he'd twist it.
Oh, like a garrote.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's how she was found strangled.
That's a horrible way to go.
It's horrendous. Pineapple was found in her stomach, which lined up with photographs taken during the investigation showing a bowl of pineapple on the table. It was later found that Burke's fingerprints were all over the bowl. Burke happened to sleep through the entire ordeal and only woke up several hours after the police arrived. That's what the parents said.
Was he drugged?
Well, no. I mean, he was in the background of the 911 call, so I don't know where this came from. I think they were literally like, go upstairs, keep your mouth shut.
And none of the friends ever were like, oh, where's Burke? Perhaps we should send him to the grandparents' house for the day.
I honestly think Patsy would have been like, he's asleep, just let him sleep and we'll get, like, don't wake him up, you'll upset him.
What's wrong with these people?
They're crazy. This whole case is horrendous. Because there are so many botch-ups in the crime scene, from all these randoms walking through the house, the kitchen being cleaned by Patsy's friends, John picking up Jean Bonet's body and moving it to a different room, the investigation was basically screwed.
I also heard that when he brought her body upstairs, he laid her down on the floor.
He did. He just kind of like was wailing and crying and just plonked her down in front of everyone on the floor.
And, like, the sofa was right there. Like, you'd think, like, if this is your child, even though she's deceased, you'd still kind of, in a way, want her to be comfortable.
To me, it's very staged. To me, it's like, I'm the grieving father. I'm going to come out and almost collapse with my child's body. To me, that's what it is. And, like, in a way, he's smart if he did it because he's contaminated the original crime scene, and now if they go back and look at it, they could be like
screwed.
All his DNA's all over her body and stuff because he picked her up.
Yep.
Like, cool, they found fingerprints around her neck and all that. Oh, it's because he carried her out. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, like, there's two sides. Either he's a dumbass and he has no idea, or he's just literally like re-putting his hands on her so that he has a reason why his fingerprints are all over her body. Yeah, so it's awesome. The interviews of the initial family members were delayed. The officers working on the case were inexperienced, and there were parts of evidence that were completely lost, which isn't an unusual thing. Like, that happens all the time.
Evidence is lost.
Yeah, it's horrendous. Lots of evidence pointed to the Ramseys, but the investigation was so messy that things would be pushed back, lost or shuffled. One day the evidence would point to the parents, then the next day it would point away from them. The police department were convinced the Ramseys were guilty, while outside detectives were convinced Jean Bonet was murdered by an intruder. Due to the tension and animosity between the detectives and the police, Colorado Governor Roy Romer decided to initiate a grand jury. September 15th, 1998, a grand jury was convened to consider charging the Ramseys for the case. In 1999, the jury returned to charge the parents with placing a child at risk in a way that led to her death and with obstructing an investigation of murder.
How did they put her in a position that...
Well, that's what I
All
didn't
they did
understand too. Yeah, they put her to bed. I don't understand that either, but I guess maybe they were... See, the whole court case is really confusing to me because it gets swapped out so many times, and like staff literally get up and quit because they're like, this is bullshit, nothing's happened. There's been like, there were I think 3 detectives that literally quit because of this case.
Wow.
Because they're like, no one's
So
listening,
many
no one's
roadblocks.
doing anything.
Yeah.
We're out. Yeah, they quit their careers, not just like the case. They just were like, we're done being cops.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the case is super confusing to me. I don't know how the parents place a child at risk, but somehow someone's suggested it.
Somehow they factored that in there and got away with it, even though it's ridiculous.
There was a Boulder County District Attorney, Alex Hunter, didn't prosecute because he couldn't meet with finding them guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, which I kind of I agree with.
Yeah. It's too much contamination.
Completely.
Too many botched up.
It's so like I don't know which side to believe.
Yeah,
it's
no
too
concrete,
in the air.
There's no concrete evidence.
In 2002, the investigation was given to a different department, and in April 2003, a federal judge found that the evidence was more consistent with the theory that an intruder murdered JonBenet than it was with the theory that Mrs. Ramsey did. On July 2008, the Office of the Boulder District Attorney announced that through new DNA research, the Ramsey family members were removed from being suspects. February 2009, the case was passed to a new district attorney who took over the investigation. 2010...
Just what I always wanted.
Oh, it goes on. 2010, the case was reopened, and in 2015, investigators were starting to disagree with how the Ramseys were previously excused. Exonerating anyone based on a small piece of evidence that has not yet been proved to even be connected to the crime is absurd. Another states, we all shed DNA all the time within our skin cells. It can be deposited anywhere at any time for various reasons. Reasons that are benign. To clear somebody just on the premise of touch DNA, especially when you have a situation where the crime scene wasn't secure at the beginning, really is a stretch. So the parents were exonerated, but then the later investigators were like, why the hell did they get removed as suspects? Because you can't pass up this evidence that they're finding with more updated DNA forensic research.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just, and that's what, if you guys watch that documentary on Netflix, they've got like the most up-to-date forensics technology that is picking up stuff that has never been brought up before.
Which is why it's such a cool time for
it's
true
incredible.
crime,
It's so exciting.
You know, serial killers from decades ago are now being arrested.
Yeah, 100%. They've found the DNA of Jack the Ripper. Like they're trying to work. Yeah, they found it through semen. Like they're trying to work on stuff. There's apparently there's talks of a technology that with DNA, the computer will actually generate what your face will look like.
Yes, I've seen that. That's amazing.
It's insane. It is. Imagine that.
So much cool stuff.
How easy would that be to find your,
Yep.
your offender? It's crazy. Okay, now we'll get to the theories. There are 2 main types of theories that are the most popular. First is the family member theory, that someone in the house killed JonBenet, whether on purpose or by accident, and they then planted this whole ransom note thing to protect the family. The second is an intruder who broke into the house on Christmas night and killed her. According to a retired profiler of the FBI, Greg McRae, statistically it is a 12-to-1 probability that it's a family member or a caregiver who would commit a crime against a kid.
Is that a high probability? That seems like a pretty high probability to me.
And it is. It is true. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The police found no evidence of forced entry, but they did find evidence of someone staging a crime scene, which is like... such as the weird ransom note written with the paper and the pen owned by the family.
Why kill the girl when you've just written a ransom note and you're about to get money?
Because they needed an end. They needed an end of this situation.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, say hypothetically it was a stranger. Why would they come in, write a ransom note, then kill the girl, then leave.
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense, but I think to these two, Patsy and John, who are a bit, I don't know, they're maybe a bit Hollywood, they're maybe, I don't know, they don't really know much about actual real life true crime cases, that they've been like, let's make this the most dramatic.
Exactly.
There's a ransom, there's a kidnapping, they want thousands of dollars.
Yes.
You know, we've got your pageant daughter. It's like, no, if you wanted to make it realistic, in my opinion, you'd leave a really horrible crime scene, you'd smash a window open, you'd be like, someone came in, killed the kid and left. Don't add the weird Hollywood crap.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. There's terrorists in this neighborhood. Like,
and if you're going to do a note, look, 50 words is going to be fine.
yeah, it's an
3
essay.
pages?
It's a literal essay. Yep. They also found that the Ramseys didn't fully cooperate in helping them solve the murder. They kind of just played along like you see people doing in the movies. There is footage of Patsy crying, kind of asking for the offender to come forward and stuff, but it's quite bizarre. And like, we can't judge people on their grieving.
No.
A lot of people don't cry. A lot of people laugh. Yeah, like, you can't be like, that person's guilty, because everyone has a different reaction to trauma. But just watch the footage of Patsy Ramsey. Just watch the footage. There's something going on. There's the theory that Patsy hit JonBenet after she wet the bed and then strangled her to cover up what she had done.
Was there evidence that she had wet the bed?
Yeah, JonBenet always wet the bed.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. And what they think is Patsy hit her, and then while she was knocked out but still technically alive, that's when she strangled her, because JonBenet did die of strangulation while also having a head trauma.
Seems a little extreme.
It does. I don't agree with that, because Patsy was a really peaceful woman. She had no history of violence, so I think that theory is
I don't feel like that holds a lot of weight.
No. Now, this is my favorite theory, and I think it's yours too, and it's a lot of people's.
Yeah.
The theory that Burke killed JonBenet. They found pineapple in the autopsy, and Burke's favorite snack was pineapple and milk. There's a theory that JonBenet grabbed some pineapple, Burke, only being a 9-year-old, cracked it, hit her over the head with a flashlight, which actually matches perfectly with the
indentation on her head.
Completely.
Yes, it was.
You could slosh the torch.
It was like one of those quite
big
large,
flashlights,
heavy,
big like 90s
silver.
flash. Yeah,
yeah,
huge flashlight. It fits perfectly in the crack on her head. Then Burke panicked. On her body, there were 2 strange marks that looked similar to the marks made by a taser. People were like,
taser,
like a taser gun. People were like, there's 2, like,
who
if you
has a taser?
Well, that's the thing. But later on, the marks matched up perfectly to a set of toy train tracks that Burke played with.
Oh,
So they think that she was knocked out with the torch, and then Burke freaked out and grabbed this toy train track and poked her as hard as he could to see if she would wake up.
Oh, God.
Because it is literally, and the marks are made when
That's
she was
macabre.
still kind of alive, because they like bled out a bit, like they bruised. They had time to kind of bruise and bleed out.
Where it is, if it was after death, they wouldn't have had time to develop the bruise.
Exactly. So Burke freaked out, poked her to see if she'd flinch. And then the parents freaked out, and they decided to stage a murder just to protect the remaining kid that they had. There was history of Burke being super violent and like hitting JonBenet Ramsey with objects. I think in the documentary it was said that Burke once got a golf club and just whacked her over the head with it.
I heard that too.
He's
was
a
in
weird
the front
little
yard
kid.
or the backyard or something.
He would just he'd have like fits of rage. And if you watch this documentary again, they actually like there's footage of interviews with Burke. You can hear him talking. You can't judge kids on how they react to trauma, of course, but he's quite unemotional about it. He's very like, he almost gets bored in the interrogation. There's I don't know. I completely
can't judge
think
people,
it's Burke.
I think the Burke theory is definitely my favourite theory.
Yeah.
I shall say.
I'm pretty convinced.
Me too.
Pretty convinced.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are. He refuses to have interviews nowadays. Like,
I think he did that one with Dr. Phil.
And it's really weird. And a lot of people have analysed it. They've been like, every time Dr. Phil asks him a question, he twitches. Or
and
like
he kind of
smirks.
Giggle,
There's points where he's laughing in it and people are like, he's guilty, and then other people are like, no, that's his reactions because he's shitting himself. It's like, I laugh sometimes when I'm scared. It's like, you can't use that as incriminating evidence, but still at the same time, part of you is like, well, it's 20 years later and he's still kind of giggling about it. Like, I don't know.
Yep.
Another theory was pedophiles, which is really common. The child beauty pageant scene was almost a breeding ground for pedophiles, and JonBenet had actually previously been photographed by a convicted pedophile. And he recently confessed, but they think it's bullshit.
Is that the guy, apparently he was like obsessed with her and he had like a shrine with all these pictures of her?
Yeah.
I mean, that could be a compelling theory.
Totally. But like there's sickos out there who are obsessed with kids, but they'd never, like, they wouldn't hurt them. There's so many avenues. There was also a theory tying in with our Christmas theme that their neighbor Bill McReynolds, who played Santa Claus, was her killer too. Guys, and the thing that isn't funny, but it happens all the time, so many criminals can falsely confess to this murder. They get arrested for stuff and then they come out, they're in jail and they're like, I'm the one who killed JonBenet Ramsey, and it's constantly happening. But
this case frustrates me, baffles me, makes me angry.
Yes.
It makes me angry that this victim never had any justice.
She had no justice.
Nothing. Such a short life.
And guys, I didn't cover this story well enough because Gemma and I only have like a short space of time to do each of our stories. But if you want to do a deep dive into this story, I completely recommend you to do some research yourself, look at the ransom note.
There are so many resources.
People are this is one of the most famous cases on the planet. Like, it is probably the biggest mystery unsolved case ever.
Yeah.
If you ask any true crime fan, what case do you want to know JonBenet Ramsey straight away. So do your research. It's crazy. It's sad. Watch videos of her. And stay safe on Christmas. Don't trust your parents, kids. Or your brothers.
Don't eat your brother's pineapple
Don't
snack.
eat pineapple and milk. To me, that's vomit flavor.
Juxtaposition
Dairy
of
and acid.
No,
that's vomit.
No, that doesn't. No,
that's a sign that kid's a killer. Just eating that. If your kid's eating
that's
fruit
your main
with the milk,
clue.
Get rid of it.
Oh my god. All right.
Anyway.
Well, thank you for going through that. Yeah, I know it was a really condensed version, but
super condensed. I did not do it justice, but that was like a brief blurb.
Definitely covered the main points though.
Yeah, the court case is a bit jumpy. It's very confusing, but it's a hard case because literally there's the crime scene was so messed up.
So many idiots.
Who brings your mates round to clean the kitchen? When I first heard that, I
mean,
almost
honestly,
threw a shoe at the TV. I was like, "Are you kidding? Your kid's been murdered, and you've got your friends cleaning your house."
Yep.
What is wrong with
weren't
people?
some of their friends, and now I don't know if I'm getting this mixed up with the Madeleine McCann case, but some of the friends decided to turn their backs on the Ramseys after.
Yeah, there's an
all
interview
this.
with a woman who I think was her neighbor at the time, who was really close to them, and then she's like, she in the interview she's like, nah, there's something.
This is not right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something going on. Yeah. Watch the documentary. I'll put it on Instagram.
I think I'm gonna rewatch it.
So freaking good.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Oh, thanks for having me.
You can come back.
Yeah, I might.
And we are back.
We are back.
I forgot to tell you, I'm reading a really good book.
Oh, what is it?
And I'm gonna lend it to you afterwards.
Okay.
It's called Aftermath.
Of
Yes, and it's about a journalist.
Yeah.
It's a true story.
Yeah.
It's about a journalist that sort of shadows a company that cleans up after crime scenes.
Oh yes.
And he sort of follows them around and sort of
Yeah,
writes all about it.
We're both reading crime scene cleaner books.
Oh, because you're reading the trauma. I thought you already read the trauma cleaner.
I've had a break because I've had to go back to work and all that crap. But
right.
Yeah, incredible.
This one, it's really good. It's not going to take me long. No, I'll give it to you next week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's really interesting just how thorough they have to be. And these guys, they started this company because there was a suicide across the road from one of their apartments.
And no one would clean it.
And they were chatting to the police officer and he's like, yeah, poor kid, shot himself. They can't find anyone to clean it up.
Oh,
and then
God.
They go off and play golf and they're like, hey, isn't that crazy how they can't find anyone to clean it up? Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So they finish their golf game and they go back and they talk to the cop again. And they're like,
we'll do it.
yeah, basically they said, we'll do it. And, the cop was like, oh, that'd be awesome because, it would be so sad for the family to do it.
Oh my God.
So they literally just go in with a pair of rubber gloves and some just regular supermarket cleaning products. Whereas now,
it's like
years and
those
years
cleaning
later,
products would not get rid of body acids and all
exactly,
that.
Exactly,
No.
They're they've got top of the range equipment, chemicals.
Oh yeah.
They wear hazmat suits.
Yeah, that's it. Completely.
It's just completely different now.
Yeah, 100%. And it pays really well.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't last.
Yeah.
And as far as cool, we get to clean crime scenes, we get to be involved in crime scenes. Majority of the job is you going to hoarders' houses and cleaning out hoarding houses, or police cars that people have shat in, and jails that people have smeared poo all over the walls.
Yes.
And there's
that person that we follow on Instagram, because
the crime scene cleaner. There's an Instagram you can follow, and it's literally this guy goes around and takes photos of every job he cleans, and majority
and he
is
rates it out of 10 for difficulty.
Yeah. And the hoarding houses, the walls are literally black with mold. And
it's crazy. It interests me. He's a lot of the ones that he puts up are last days of a alcoholic's life.
Yeah, they're crazy. They're crazy.
And
a lot of suicides, a lot of motorbike accidents and car accidents. And
accidents.
If you guys are into that and have a strong stomach, follow Crime Scene Cleaner on Instagram. He literally will post anything and everything,
and he'll answer questions too.
Yeah, it's really interesting to look at. Really, really interesting. But it is I considered doing it for a job. But I honestly could not handle the stuff like syringes. I'm very scared of diseases. Although I'm a cleaner myself, I'm petrified of touching anything that could make you sick, which in that industry is literally everything.
It's interesting. In this book that I'm reading, they basically say treat everything in the area as if it's poison.
Yeah, they literally have to be so strict on that, just because they're for example, a hoarder's house, piles of rubbish, and then underneath that are full of syringes, and sure, you have hazmat suits, but imagine pricking yourself with a syringe, or you don't know what this blood contains. It could have anything in it.
Yeah,
you could have an open cut and you touch. It's just to me, it's really scary.
Yeah.
And even
a lot goes into it.
Totally. And no.
Anyway, let's talk about something fun.
Woo!
Okay, so today I am going to tell you about the Thornton Heath poltergeist.
Ooh, Christmas poltergeist?
Some of it's Christmas.
Yay.
There's a little bit of it that's Christmas.
Cool.
So this for this story, I just want to acknowledge some of the websites that I went to.
I forgot to do that.
Oh, that's all right.
Wikipedia, YouTube,
Jean
Benet, Google,
Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix.
So I looked at spookyisles.com, myhauntedlife2.com, realparanormalexperiences.com, londonist.com, and hauntedhovel.com.
Ooh.
So this takes place from August 1972 until sometime in 1975 in the suburb of Thornton Heath, South London, England.
Mm-hmm.
So during August, in the warm summer of 1972, a South London family, which seems to be, none of the readings actually specified, a mother, a father, and a son. Mm-hmm. Although no names have been disclosed. So it's one of those ones that it's only one step above urban legend.
We in the 70s?
Yes.
That's weird.
Wasn't there one a little while ago that I did? There was no names. Well, I mean, look, with the Donovan case, we knew their names, but no city was ever disclosed.
Yeah, it's strange.
So sometimes, do you remember those guys that took the picture of the Yowie and they didn't want to have their names?
Guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Did the two Christians get involved? What are their names?
In Lorraine?
Yeah.
No.
It's 70s. I feel like it's very in their realm.
No, they were probably too busy at Enfield.
True.
So this South London family were woken up in the middle of the night by a bedside radio turning on loudly, and it was tuned to a foreign language station that no one in the house was known to listen to. I'm picturing German. What are you picturing?
No, I'm picturing
really German with polka music.
I'm picturing like the other family members listen to foreign radio stations, but this one isn't one of the stations that they listen to. So like they get woken up to like Swedish bagpipes or something, and the mum's like, "Oh well, we know Julie listens to Hungarian, so obviously
it can't be her."
Yeah, just the way it was worded, kind of like.
Yeah, I see what you mean now.
Yeah.
Reading back.
Yeah, I love it. I love that idea.
So this radio situation was the first odd occurrence in their paranormal journey, a journey that would take them hostage for almost 4 years.
What?
In the following nights, they would see and hear bedside lamps and ornaments within the house moving by themselves or moved by unknown presences. Sometimes pictures would fall off the walls and glasses and plates would fly out of the cupboards.
God, that would be frustrating.
That's just annoying. How many times do I have to pick this up?
God damn it. I just went to IKEA. Do you know how far away Springvale is?
So around Christmas 1972, things started to get a little bit crazy. The dad was hit in the head with an ornament that had flown across the room.
A Christmas ornament?
Didn't specify, just an ornament. It's the 70s. There's ornaments everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
There's ornaments on the toilet.
Yeah.
There's ornaments flipping on the mantelpiece.
That's true. There's fairy toilet seats.
Yeah, it's just ornaments everywhere.
Yeah.
And this ornament hit him so hard that he fell into a chair.
Oh, thank God the chair was there.
It's all very dramatic. The family went over to help him, and then what do you think happens? The frickin' Christmas tree starts rising up off the ground and shaking violently.
Can you imagine if they had cats, how excited the cats would be?
My cat would go nuts.
Like, it's happening.
So the Christmas tree levitates, starts shaking, sends Christmas ornaments flying and smashing everywhere. Nuts.
Typical Christmas, if you ask me.
After that, things just got weirder and weirder. One thing that happened was that they would often hear footsteps upstairs when they knew no one else was up there. Sometime in January of 1973, the son woke up in the middle of the night and saw a man standing or hovering over him.
Ugh,
He
I just
said-
got goosebumps all up my body.
And I am not embarrassed to tell you that when I was writing this, I called my dog so that he could come and sit next to me.
Oh, cute. No, that's cute.
Because I was feeling a little bit creeped out.
Oh, yuck. Imagine waking up to a man looking at you. Even if it, especially if it wasn't a ghost.
So he says the man was tall, angry looking, and even a little bit evil. The boy also said that the man was wearing old-fashioned clothes.
He's describing
A creepy man.
our Prime Minister. Current affairs. All right, continue.
One story I read said the man hovered over him as he lay there with an evil look on his face.
Yuck.
Unfortunately, it wasn't just the family that were victim to this paranormal phenomenon.
Not the animals.
No,
Oh,
you're all good, dude.
That's fine.
One night they were hosting a dinner party. Sound familiar?
Oh, tonight?
Huh?
The Christmas party?
No. Remember the Donovan family? Oh, the
they
things were
invited
smashing all over the house.
they
They're
invited,
let's
the
have
uncle
a,
and
Let's
stuff.
have a dinner. Was it Christmas or
Yeah, it was a
Easter?
Really, I got
It
really
was-
angry about
It
it.
was Good Friday or
Yeah,
something.
because I'm like, why don't they just go to the Uncle Ned's
well,
instead of
it's
having
the,
them?
It's the British way. Stiff upper lip. Keep
damn it.
calm. Carry on.
Oh no, that's so 2017, Gemma.
What? It's more like It's more 1942.
No, keep calm and carry on. Isn't those tacky like fridge magnets and those like
Yeah,
and it
that's-
has like a teacup?
Yeah, that's it. It's from the Second World War.
Are you kidding me?
No, from the Blitz. So
What?
It was like, well, London is being bombed around us, but keep calm, carry on. It's the British way.
What?
They will not take
I
us
thought
down.
it was like made from like
you sweet,
typo
you
or something.
Sweet summer child.
Are you kidding me? I thought it was.
What's the
I thought it
opposite
was
of
like
okay boomer?
Shut up, youngo. I don't know.
Well, you learned something today.
Wow. Okay, I have more respect for that phrase then.
Yep.
Because it actually like relates to trauma and not just white girls being like, keep calm and carry on. Oh, a new pencil case.
No. It was like a national motto.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, it's got history.
Like,
All
let's
right.
keep on being the British people that we are.
Kind of like Germans Nazi
Not
quote.
Nazis.
Continue.
Okay. No. It's cool. So, so they're entertaining friends, and there's a knocking at the front door. The door to the living room then begins to shake. So the people at the dinner party get up to investigate what in holy hell is going on. As they approach the shaking living room door, it bursts open.
Oh, the drama, mama.
So much drama.
I love it.
Then-
Theatrical poltergeist.
Yeah. Then every light in the house starts switching on and off.
Okay.
So drama.
I'm sorry. I would
Turns
be
into
so
disco.
excited if I went to a dinner party and this stuff started happening. Imagine if you and I were there. We'd be like, girl, it's we're about to see something.
Yeah. Quit. Stop filming. Film.
Take notes.
So at this point, the family decide, let's look for some help. Ed and Lorraine Warren must have been busy
So they got the cheap version, Gary and
because
Fiona.
they decide to call. They decide to call their local church, and the vicar comes round to bless the house.
Dawn French rocks up
Yeah.
with Alice.
And
oh my
tells
God.
a bad
How
joke.
funny would that be? I love it.
So even though the blessing is carried out at length, the creepy, crazy stuff still continues. It actually gets even worse.
Yay.
So we are talking about stuff being thrown about, loud crashing sounds that sound like furniture is being knocked over and moved around, like the Donovan haunting.
Yes.
And like with the Donovans, they would go into the other room to see what was going on, and nothing was actually out of place.
Oh, God, you'd start to question your sanity.
I know. The old man still appears to members of the family as well. So this family, they're pretty stressed out, pretty
Yeah.
scared.
Yeah.
They somehow get in touch with a psychic medium, and this medium comes to the house and tries to figure out what's going on.
Yep.
They're told the entity is actually an angry spirit, and his name is Chatterton. He was a farmer and, in fact, used to live in the house many years ago. He was annoyed with the family for moving into his house, and he thought they were trespassing.
Wait, this isn't the one that was based on that movie? And the little girl, there's an old man that's like haunting the house, and he has a special sofa, and whenever she sits in it,
I think you're thinking of The Conjuring 2.
The Conjuring
That's
2.
the Enfield Poltergeist. Oh. Yeah, no, this one is different.
Okay. God, there's a lot of old angry men ghosts.
Yeah.
In London.
It was a good film, that one.
Yeah, it was all right. It was good. It was good, actually. The long, slender dude.
Yeah,
was
the crooked
best part.
That's what I was going to say. The crooked man.
Best part.
I love that kind of imagery.
Same. I
was
like,
good.
yes. Bring it.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Love it.
Yeah.
So this guy is angry with the family for moving into his house.
Mate, you're dead. Get over it.
The family do some research and they find out that yes, in fact, there was a farmer that had lived in the house during the mid-18th century, and he had in fact been called Chatterton. Then, as if all this wasn't enough, after the medium has come to the house, Mrs. Chatterton starts appearing.
No.
Now, she apparently looks like an elderly woman with grey hair in a bun, and she wears a pinafore.
Okay.
And she's got it in for the mum of the family.
Why? Just let...
Because she's supposed to be the mum.
Oh, honey.
The mum would feel like someone was following her when she went upstairs, and sometimes she would turn around and Mrs. Chatterton would be right there standing behind her. Ugh. Then the ghost would just disappear into the shadows.
Yuck.
So the mum's a bit freaked out. Probably the creepiest thing that happened was towards the end of the haunting. The family would be watching TV in the living room, and Mr. Chatterton would start appearing on the TV.
I love that. I think that is the best thing. Imagine
Do you
the
think
ghost
he
being
was selling cars?
Can you imagine? But imagine him being like, God damn it, they're ignoring us, that we're not scaring them enough. Let's literally sit in their TV show and just like sit there with their arms crossed and be like, pay attention to me. Like, you're in my house.
Yeah, what else he is? Can you imagine like you're scrolling through Instagram on your phone and he just rocks up on your Instagram like, hello.
Arms crossed, tapping his foot, being like, pay attention to me.
So he would be wearing a black jacket, high-necked shirt, and a black cravat. And the family decided to give up on the Chatterton house and move the hell out.
Good.
They had enough.
There we go. Sensible.
So there'd been almost 4 years of this crap. They moved into a new house, and all the paranormal phenomena stopped, both for the family and also in the house at Thornton Heath.
Okay.
No one apparently ever reported the house as haunted after that.
Weird.
The story is known as the Thornton Heath Poltergeist, the 70s version. So there is actually another Thornton Heath Poltergeist that comes from the 1930s.
Ooh, creepy.
And I will cover that for you probably next week.
Yes, I love it.
There wasn't a great deal on this case, to be honest. However, I did come across an interesting comment on the spookyisles.com website where a man called Peter talks about growing up in Thornton Heath and walking home from school with some of the other kids. They come across a house and a couple of boys run out from the back garden and ask if they want to see something.
Oh, God.
The boys follow them into the back of the house. Well, into the backyard.
Yeah.
And he says, seeing the excitement in them both was infectious, and we followed them not knowing what to expect.
Dean Corll.
Huh?
Dean Corll.
Dean Corll.
Do you know that case?
Oh, the Candyman?
Yeah.
Right, no.
I'm going to cover that one so you guys will be in on the joke.
Ew.
Yeah.
When we entered the back garden, he says, I was personally hit by a weird feeling that I've never felt before. A kind of fear for no apparent reason. There was no visible sign of anything untoward to give rise to this sensation. It just didn't seem right. Then things started to kick off. I remember this house, all the back windows had shutters, and they all started to instantly slam open and shut.
Oh, mate.
There was no wind. In fact, I remember it being a perfectly sunny day. There was also a washing line in the garden, and this may sound contrived, but I'm only reminiscing details I can remember. There was a solitary white bedsheet on the line, and the older boy who took us to the back garden. Let me also point out I have no idea whether these two children were related or even lived at this house. All I can say is they gave me the impression that this was a regular occurrence. Going back to the washing line sheet, I saw it raise itself from the line, the clothes washing line, and with perfect aplomb covered the young boy. He quickly disentangled himself from the sheet. It was a perfect sunny day. There was no wind. And besides, what struck me was the precision the sheet encompassed the boy. It could not have been scripted.
Weird.
He says, obviously, there was a great deal of nervous laughter from all of us at what we were seeing. It was not normal, and I had the feeling there was something bad there. We all ran quickly from the back garden to the front of the house where it felt safer and quiet, even though I cannot say if anything was happening inside the house.
Oh,
so that is just another instance of something weird happening in this place.
was that the same house?
No, it wasn't the
It was
same
just the
house. It
neighborhood.
was just another place in the neighborhood.
Oh, I want to go.
Well,
That's really interesting.
Thornton Heath. It's
Thornton
on our
Heath.
list now.
Yeah. Thornton Heath. Yep.
Anyway,
That's
so
creepy
yeah,
as hell.
that's my story. So I'd
Love
really
it.
like to cover the 1930s
Please do.
version as well.
I think
'cause that one's quite
30s
interesting.
are scary.
Yeah,
The older, the better.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I like doing the historical ones as well.
I want to find like a modern poltergeist, like one set in 2018 or 19.
It's a good point.
Because you don't really
Challenge
hear of it.
accepted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that.
All
Yeah.
right. Well,
Thanks, guys.
I think that's about it for us for this Christmas Day edition.
Ooky spooky Christmas.
Thanks for joining us again, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for spending Christmas with us.
Yeah. Don't forget to follow us on social media. I
Yes.
think My Fridge is Haunted on both Facebook and Instagram.
And RPPFM.
And RPPFM, which
Yeah.
is where we record our show.
Yeah, it's so awesome.
Yeah.
We've got some great staff here.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to episode 11. There's only 2 more episodes in the season.
Yes.
We're
Merry
gonna-
Christmas, y'all.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll be back next week.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
This is going to be the longest episode
So
ever.
long.
That was an hour, just that story.
What? Oh, God, you weren't here for the whole 10 minutes we talked about drag queens.
That was 25.